Hey, well, Broken World Entertainment, and things at DC certainly are changing. As DC shocker, James Gunn and Peter Safran to lead film, TV, and animation division. The duo will report to David Zaslav and assume the title of co.chairs and co.ceos of DC Studios. Well, this kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it? So, the hierarchy of power in the DC universe really is changing. In a stunning turn of events, filmmaker James Gunn and producer Peter Safran, I hope I'm pronouncing that second name right, have been tapped to lead DC films, TV, and animation efforts as co-chairs and CEOs of DC Studios, a newly formed division at Warner Bros. That will replace DC films. The unprecedented move, in which a top director will assume a top executive post, marks the end of a months-long search by Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav to replace DC Films boss Walter Hamada. Good riddance to you, sir. Who departed the studio last week. That search had all of Hollywood guessing and playing executive bingo for who would land one of the most coveted and challenging jobs in town. Yes, indeedy. So, it looks like James Gunn is going to pretty much try and course correct and stabilise DC. We, of course, know that he's worked with DC thanks to The Suicide Squad, which only came about because Marvel fired him, and once he went to DC, very quickly rehired him. But he's going to be, of course, co-chair and CEO with Peter Safran. I'm not 100% sure who he is. He looks familiar. No, I'm not sure who he is. Is this a good move? Well, I suppose the fact that there's two of them, it kind of reins in a bit of the over influence that Gunn might have. I would hope that he doesn't kind of push all of his own ideas into it. I hope he kind of more, or I should say really the two of them, but more so Gunn, kind of just steer people in directions. Basically try and say, we're happy and comfortable with you directors pretty much doing your own thing, but these are the lines we need you to stay in. You know, because that is one of the problems DC has, is it's kind of everywhere, which of course comes down to the previous establishment there. You know, them pushing for get rid of the Snyderverse stuff, don't let Henry Cavill come back, all that, and then you just saw the mess that started that, and then they were announcing like, oh, we're gonna do 10 different Batman films and 10 spin-offs of something else over here and all this type of stuff, and yet they were keeping a lot of the look of the Snyderverse, and it was really confusing people. Walter Hamada was just an idiot running the movie division of DC. So hopefully these two can right the ship, basically. And of course, Zaslav seems to be quite hands-on as well, so I'm sure if he sees them kind of putting too much of their own influence into it, I'm sure he'll have no problem saying, hey, rein it back there. That's not what you were brought in for. You know, hopefully it gives more stability to what they want to work. Like, don't just start trying to rush into doing more Justice League movies. You know, build it. Form this grounds of good stories for it. That's the most important thing, is good stories. And we know Cavill is back as Superman. Video to come on that, because it's official now. There's also a rumour that Ben Affleck is signed on for multiple films. They always say multiple, that could be 2. And probably not standalones, even though I still want a Ben Affleck solo Batman movie. I think we all want that. But really kind of getting it more coherent, really. You don't fall into the Marvel trap and do what Marvel are doing, but make it your own thing. And to be honest, bring back that darker, grittier feel to it as well. That's where you kind of get nervous with James Gunn being in there. But ultimately, it seems to be a very interesting move. Marvel must be pissed. It's like, we fired him, then we hired him back, and now he's actually going to run the division of our rivals. Like, that has to be a uh-oh. Oh. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on what's happening with this and see what kind of announcements come from this. Because let's not forget, even though Black Adam has been released on Zaslav's watch, as will Aquaman 2 and The Flash, they are still very much the previous establishment's projects. They were greenlit by them, and stories kind of forced in their direction. Of course, we know they're reshooting, which is changing a lot of that, but it's still very much their fingerprints on it. So just keep that in mind. So the next new projects that will be announced, which would seemingly also include the next Superman film, will be fully under Zaslav's control, and now James Gunn and Peter Safran. So let's wait and see. You know, future's looking bright. Time will tell. Alright, with that, I'll leave it there for this one. Cheers. Catch you in the next one.